Hello and welcome to Quarantine Art with Miss Mitchell. Today is Thursday, April 9th, for those of you who might be losing track, and it's episode 19 of Quarantine Art. I remember on day 6 being like, oh wow, I can't believe it's already day 6, and now it's day 19, so welcome back, thanks for being here. Today we'll be learning about an artist named Louise Nevelson, and she made large sculptures using random stuff. How perfect is that? An art supply that everybody has at home? Random stuff. What am I talking about? Well, let me show you. Here's a few pictures of works by Louise Nevelson.
Here we have a lovely white monochromatic sculpture full of lots of amazing stuff. I actually read that her dad was a lumberjack and worked with wood, so there's a lot of wood in her pieces. Here's a black monochromatic sculpture, and just try to notice where your eyeball tends to go. What's the most interesting to look at? What sort of objects are you most drawn to? Oh yeah, here's a gold sculpture. This is my inspiration of the day. Lots more little objects. See how everything kind of goes together, brings your eye around? And here's the woman herself. Can we say, yes, queen? This is actually what we're going to be making today. This is a kid art inspired by Louise Nevelson. She used all sorts of cool objects like buttons and a straw, some shells, some bubble wrap, some little figurines. And can you believe it? This was made by a kindergartner. It's so good. I love this.
Pretty cool, huh? There's a few words that we need to go over so that I can use them while we're working and you'll know what I'm talking about. The first is monochrome. Mono means one and chrome means color. So monochrome means one color. Did you notice that all of Louise Nevelson's sculptures were one color? Ours are going to be monochrome too. The second word we've gone over a little bit, but just a reminder, symmetry. Symmetry means something is the same on both sides or equal on both sides. And this is one of the ways that we might be arranging our works today. And last but not least is balance. While we're working today, we want to be thinking about the balance of our artwork. And I'll keep talking about that while we're working, but just keep in mind the balance of our work. To start this project, you'll need to go around your house and gather up some random stuff. Please make sure to check with your parents and make sure that it's okay to use this random stuff for your project. You will not be getting it back. It will be part of your art project forever. So make sure that it's parent-approved random stuff. A few objects that you might consider are buttons, clothespins, safety pins, paper clips, crayons, coins, shells, tongue depressors, what do you call them? Oh, popsicle sticks, things like that, things that you probably have more than one of, you're not going to necessarily miss it, and things that you can have multiples of. So now I've gathered all of my random stuff, and a few more materials you'll need is a piece of cardboard to attach everything to, and some glue to attach everything to the cardboard. Hot glue works great for this, but you can also use gooey glue. And then when everything's all attached and arranged, you will want to paint it. You can use regular paint in a paintbrush, or you can use spray paint, and I'm really excited because the only color spray paint I have is gold. It's gonna be amazing. So here's kind of what we're going for. You saw that one example of a kid art inspired by Louise Nevelson. And this is what they look like when they're not painted. This is a pretty good working size. You can definitely go bigger or smaller. You can also use a flat piece of cardboard if you want, but I kind of like to build up the sides so it gives it a little bit of a frame and holds all my objects in. If you have a box about this size, you can just cut the bottom off of it and you'll have that ledge, or I can show you in just a moment how to turn a large sheet of cardboard into this box frame. So here's a couple different options to get your cardboard box. Here I just cut off the bottom of my Banza box, which this chickpea pasta is delicious. You should definitely try it. And then that way you already have the edges built up. If you only have a huge box and you want to turn it into a smaller box, you can cut off one side of the box, cut off all the flaps and everything, so you just have a nice smooth piece of cardboard. And then you're going to trace a line around all four sides. And actually the width of your ruler is pretty perfect for this. Don't even have to measure perfectly, just line it up with the edge and then trace a line on the inside all the way around like this, right through each other, so you have this corner square right here And then you're going to slice right here and right here, only up to that first line, and right here and right here. And then you're going to score all of these other lines on this inside rectangle like this. Don't go all the way through, just drag your scissors along that little line, kind of like we did yesterday with our sketchbooks. Just making it easier for a cardboard box to bend right there. Maybe this, and then you're gonna pop it, bend it back like that, all the way around. And then these little tabbies bend over. Oh, I guess I need to score that too. Fold all these up and bend your tabby, and then you'll just put a little bit of glue there all the way around, and you have a perfect little cardboard box. Okay, full disclosure, I didn't have time to wait for my glue to dry, so I stapled my tabbies down. That's another way to do it. In addition to the materials that you collected that maybe are more everyday items and you have multiples of, it's also kind of nice to gather a couple of things that will stand out and be areas of interest in your work. Like, for example, this little action figure guy, or plastic animals work great if you can spare one or two for your creation. And then another cool thing is using objects that once everything is painted the same color, you'll have to really look to recognize what the object is, but it's an object that everybody will recognize. Like a birthday candle. If these all get spray painted the same color, they're all going to kind of blend together into my creation. But if you look closely, everyone will recognize the shape of these little birthday candles or the shape of my little army guy. So remember when we first started, I was talking about the balance of this artwork. If I grab all of my stuff and dump it in here and squirt glue all over it and then spray paint it white, I mean, okay, it'll be interesting, but it's not really going to have balance, and it's not going to have symmetry, and it's not really going to be that appealing. So if you'd slow your roll, take your time a little bit and plan out, how could I balance this little artwork to where people would want to look at it and it's interesting to the viewer? Well, for example, one way might be by using symmetry, which means that things are the same on both sides. So if I have a quarter on this side of my creation, I'm going to add a quarter over here. Nice and even. If I drew a line right down the middle, it's symmetrical. Same over here as it is over here. I could do also a birthday candle here, a birthday candle here. I might also add an object of interest right in the middle, like my army guy. Okay, looking good so far. I wonder if my colored pencil will fit in here. Nope. My little wooden blocks, same thing. I could even those out so it's all the same. All right, this is already looking a lot more interesting to the viewer, and they'll have fun going around. When everything's all the same color, they can go around and think, oh wow, that's a quarter. Oh, birthday candle, this is great. And this other example that I made that I haven't painted yet, it's not symmetrical, but it's still kind of balanced. It has roughly the same amount of stuff on each side. It's not like everything's piled up over here, although that would be kind of a cool way to do it too. If you arranged a ton of objects over here and only maybe one really unique thing over here, that would be cool too. You just kind of want to think about where the eye is going to travel when people are looking at your creation, especially, I know it's hard to picture, but especially when this is all painted the same color, where are people going to be looking, and what can you hide, and where can you make their eye travel to make this a really interesting piece? So you may have noticed that I haven't glued anything down yet, and that's because I want to be able to move my objects around and change my mind. Until everything's right where I want it, I'm not going to whip out the glue. So maybe I want to add a couple more objects. Maybe I want to keep it symmetrical. Maybe I don't. Oh, I wonder if this guy fits in here. You can try all kinds of things. Mix it up a little bit. Oh man, what's he doing? Okay, so play around with it. Test out all your objects, add multiples of things, try symmetry, try balance, see what works for you. Okay, I think I have everything right where I want it. You might have some objects left over, that's okay. You don't have to use all of the random stuff that you collected. And when everything is right where you want it, you can go ahead and glue everything down. Okay, I guess I should have warned you, but I just learned myself that it's much easier to glue down the objects in the background if you have something over top rather than trying to get your fingers wiggled in there. But I think I got it all glued in. Give it a good shake, make sure everything's really stuck. And now it's time to paint our creations in one color, monochromatic. And if you want to just use regular paint and a paintbrush, that's just fine. Just make sure you really get in all those nooks and crannies and paint everything the same color. If you want yours to be spray painted, that is not a job for the kids. That is a job for the grown-ups. I was also thinking if you wanted to make one of these and then your siblings or somebody else in your family makes a couple more, they would look so cool if you put them all together. It would be very Louise Nevelson. So that's one idea if you want to make more than one, or if everybody in your family wants to make one. I can't wait. I'm gonna go spray paint mine gold. Okay, so you guys, one of my favorite things about art is it's a great opportunity to try new things, and sometimes you make mistakes, but you learn from them. And I have to tell you what I just did. I thought I was being so cool. I took the army guy, got out of his jar and spray painted him separately, and then I put him back in the jar and I spray painted the outside of the jar so you couldn't see through it anymore. So then I tried to wipe it off with acetone, which kind of only sort of worked, but here we are, it's spray painted gold. And this is my finished Louise Nevelson inspired monochromatic artwork. Well, there we have it. Episode 19 is in the books. I hope you made some magnificently magical monochrome art. And now it's time for the joke of the day. What happened when the ship full of red paint crashed into the ship full of blue paint? The crews were marooned. I'll see you tomorrow and we'll announce the kid art of the week.